Hello, my people, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly discussion on the Nina Brown Get Down Show. I'm your host, Nina Brown, and today my co-host is j.l.brown, creator and host of Speak On It.
Hey, y'all. Thank you, Nina, for having me. I'm very excited to discuss the different topics that we have for tonight.
I'm glad you can join me. So, due to the recent conflicts regarding innocent black civilians, we feel it's only appropriate to discuss the alarming amount of issues currently dividing our society. So, let's get right into it.
So, I'll just keep it real. One of the things that is really bothering me is all of these complainers of protesters. People are hitting me up left and right and saying things like, I don't understand what's the point of blocking the bridges and blocking the streets. And I had to just kind of break it down for some people, because I think when you know better, you do better.
Right.
And let's just keep it real, people. If you're feeling as frustrated as you are for your life being interrupted for whether it's a few minutes, a few hours, or even a day, that is the point of the protest and blocking the streets.
Right.
The point is, black people have to live in their skin every day of their lives, and they have to deal with all these inequalities and the society being up against them, and that's very frustrating. So just imagine that time that you're sitting there with that blockage for the bridge or the streets, how they feel every day because of what's going on.
Right. Exactly. So your little minor inconvenience is nothing compared to, you know, the tragedies and the inconvenience of those families, you know, and what they've gone through. So, I mean, me personally, I think that one day of blocking traffic, it should actually be more. I mean, you go out there and you protest and you say, no justice, no peace, but then the next day it's peaceful. Like, protest every day.
Every day.
Let it not be peaceful.
Right.
Let everyone be inconvenienced every day until it's, you know, justice.
Until justice.
So,
and it's weird that you say that, because I kind of readopted the no N-O for K-N-O-W, because it's no justice, know what people are going for, and then we will know peace. Because eventually, when everybody is all on one accord with knowing what is at hand and understanding the struggle, then we'll know peace as well.
exactly. Exactly. That was a good point.
Thank you.
So, moving along
with knowing justice and knowing peace. I don't know about you, but this whole propaganda with the social media, with Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter versus now Blue Lives Matter.
Right.
Oh my God. I think that, you know, the misunderstanding of Black Lives Matter and people seeing this invisible only in front of Black Lives Matter.
It doesn't say hashtag only Black Lives Matter.
It does not. It
just
does
says
not.
Black Lives Matter.
And and what burns me more so is the people say, well, all lives matter. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. If Black lives are not included in the all lives, then all lives do not matter.
All lives won't matter until Black lives start mattering.
Yes.
And that's the whole point.
That's the point.
Because everyone else already matters. We know that already. That's why it doesn't say all lives matter. We know everyone else matters. They're not the ones getting killed every day.
No.
Black lives are the ones that's being lost every day at the hands of the people that's supposed to be protecting and serving.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the whole point of Black Lives Matter is saying we matter too.
Right.
We matter just as much as everyone else. So I don't know where the misconception is and why people get it twisted, thinking that it's just only black lives. Well, what about us? We matter too. You've been mattering.
Most definitely.
You guys don't have the problem.
No.
We do.
No.
So, all it's saying is we matter too. Our lives are just as valuable as everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically all it boils down to. It's nothing more than that. It's not a hate
debate.
group. It's not a, what are they calling it now?
The terrorists. There is a new terrorist movement. And I'm like, are you kidding me? A terrorist movement? So if that's the case, now hear me out. If Black Lives Matter is a terrorist movement, and people who are proclaiming that all lives matter then jumps on the Blue Lives Matter movement,
Right.
I hear hypocrisy there.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Now all of a sudden, Blue Lives Matter hashtag is perfectly
It's fine.
No one's saying, well, why just blue lives? Well, what about all lives? Oh no, but it's a problem when you say black lives.
So that's the problem. So it sounds like the deciding factor of the issue is the black in the mattering of lives.
Right. And that's always the issue, and that's why it's a problem.
Right.
So,
I think that I think the misconception, though, for the people not knowing really why Black Lives Matter, the movement, even exists. And I think, well, again, if you know better, you do better. And
Right.
it all came back when Zimmerman was acquitted for the killing of Trayvon Martin.
Right.
And it was like, okay, oh my God. You mean to tell me you have all of this evidence that shows that this innocent black boy lost his life and this man gets to walk away?
Right.
God forbid. Oh, and let's not even talk about how he gets to put the weapon that he killed him with up for auction, and people, I mean, seriously. So that lets you know that right now, today, as we're speaking, black lives are not mattering.
Right.
Hence, all lives are not mattering.
Right.
So you have to know the reason behind it. It's only because black people at the end of the day want to feel equality. They want
Right.
acceptance. They want to be
That's it.
treated as, as everybody else, as their neighbor who is not of, black skin color.
That's
Once
it.
that happens, we're good.
We're happy.
No
Like-
justice, no peace. It's all good.
Exactly.
All good.
So, yeah.
Some of the topics that I also wanted to bring up, Nina, was statistics. Statistics
Okay.
within the black community. Did you know that at least 14 unarmed black people were killed by the hands of police officers last year? And that's, people not 14, but only one person was convicted.
See.
14.
That's
That's
the
not
problem.
including. That was last year. We know that there were just 2 just recently, and we don't know what the outcome of that's going to be. And so, hence another reason, Black Lives Matter. We want you to know this is not okay. It is not okay that black people are losing their lives at a unimaginable rate and people are looking the other way. Would you
Exactly.
look the other way if it was your child?
Exactly.
Would you look the other way if it was your sister? I wouldn't. I mean, let's just keep it real. And then the new hashtag of modern day lynching or modern day slavery. Can you blame the people? I think not, because there are more blacks under correctional control today, whether that be prison, jail, or on parole, than were enslaved in 1850. That was a decade before the Civil Rights Movement. And we have people celebrating the 4th of July when at the end of the day, 50 to 100 years prior to that, black people were still on plantations. Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. So yeah, it is modern day slavery with, the criminal justice system being the way that it is, and how many are the amount that is incarcerated over any other nationality. That says it right there. You know what I mean? So, either way, they want to get free labor out of black people,
Right.
one way or another.
One way or another.
They was doing it during slavery. Now this is a way of doing it, and that's why the numbers are what they are, and numbers don't lie. So,
And
on that point, that's why it is also important to be involved in voting, not just the primary elections, but voting city council and everything else, because you have the power to change how the criminal justice system works, and the way that they have to go about holding their officers accountable for their actions.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you vote against the way that they're doing things now, you can change that.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? So, you know, we have to change the way the criminal justice system works and hold police officers accountable, because right now they're doing whatever.
Right.
You know, they're a gang. You know what I mean? They're considered a gang to people. People can't even feel safe, you know what I mean, calling the police like they should. You know, they feel like the police is a gang. So, and that's not how you should feel.
No, really. Like, I don't know about you, but I've been using this example for me, driving in the car with my black sons, and a siren come on, and my armpits literally like it's funny, but it's not funny. My armpits literally gets wet because I'm terrified on the fact that, oh my goodness, are they pulling me over? And if they're pulling me over, what for, and what the outcome is gonna be? Is my children gonna have to experience something, you know, that's unfair and unjust? And I'm sorry, but I don't wanna feel like I have to be cautious because I'm driving while black. Like, seriously?
Right.
Let's keep it real. And then you had, I want to piggyback off of something that you said about voting. Voting is definitely important in order for us to practice our rights. However, another issue with the system is in 2004, I believe it was, the studies were showing that African American men were disenfranchised due to felon disenfranchisement laws. Mm-hmm. So what that basically means is when you have a felony, you don't get to vote.
That's why they're quick to give
exactly
felonies.
And this is why we have to educate our people, our men, our women, on, you know, how to be quote unquote good law abiding citizens. And there's a way for all of us to do that. And I want to make sure that we are not coming off as people who are anti-cops, because I'm not that person. I'm not a terrorist. I believe that everybody should have, you know, the same rights as their neighbors. So this, by any means necessary, is not a bashing cop segment. This is about being aware, making awareness to what is going on within the black community. We emphasize that this is not about downplaying the lives of officers that put their lives on the line for our family every day. But unfortunately, because of how things are being played out, black community are in fear of the unknown.
Exactly. You know, that's causing a whole bunch. I mean, that's what is that? Post-traumatic stress.
Oh my God, post-traumatic stress. Like, seriously, because what has happened over these last few years. We're all gonna
need therapy.
Right.
You
seriously.
Get pulled over, you shouldn't. No.
No, I should not feel shaken, fearful, because the siren is on behind me and I'm driving the speed limit. Like, come on now.
They're not even looking at you. They're looking at the next car.
The next car.
You're freaking out. You know, because you don't know what's going to happen when you get pulled over. You know, things happen just that fast. Look at Sandra Bland. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's terrible, and no one should have to live that way.
Well, it's not living, Nina. Let's just keep it real.
It's not
when
living.
You are you're existing. When you are going about your day-to-day life, worried about something that should not be in your mind mentally, should not be having this impact on you. You know, I'm always terrified. My kids playing outside in the front yard. I'm like, okay, so I bought this nice house in a nice neighborhood to, you know, show them that we too can have pursuit of happiness.
Right.
And yet, I'm like, get inside. It's getting late, and I don't know what people's ulterior motives are.
Right.
Seriously, what child should have to experience that? Not my child, not your child. They, you know, they all matter. I don't know. We have to do better.
And that brings up an interesting point, you know, when you move to nice neighborhoods, because I was watching something, and I believe it was on the news, and, you know, the cops were saying, you know, black people should, you know, apply to be cops. You know, they said they're hiring. They said that in Dallas.
In Dallas,
we're hiring, you know, come apply to be a cop and patrol your own community. And, you know, and that's all good and everything to have black cops all around the black community, and, you know, but where are the white cops going? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a double-edged sword, because are you saying black people should patrol black communities. So what, you gonna put white cops in white communities? And so, but that's just gonna lead to something else. So now we're having a systematic segregation. You have black people that live in quote unquote white communities, and they're gonna be getting pulled over. What are you doing over here? You know what I mean? It just, it leads to just something crazy. But I do feel like there should be more black cops, police officers. That would definitely cut into some of the issues going on. So
because the communities feel like they have somebody that's more relatable. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
So
awesome.
Also, on what she said about there's good cops and there's bad cops. The good cops, they get retaliated against if they speak up on issues that's going on in their department, or officers that are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They have this code that they live by, and I think that there needs to be more regulation going on in the the police department.
More accountability.
And police officers should feel safe and free to speak on issues that is going on in the police department. Mm-hmm. When they see that they have co-workers that are unethical.
Right.
You know what I mean? They shouldn't have to live with it because for fear of retaliation, or threats and all that goes on, and so I think that also needs to change.
We have to wake up people, and I mean all people, because before it can get better, awareness have to take place, and people have to become aware, act on it, acknowledge it, and change. I know that it's hard for a lot of people to get out of their comfort zone, so that they can shake things up in order for equality to exist. But realistically speaking, if we don't wake up, more blood is going to be shed, whether it's because of lack of knowing or for retaliation. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. You have to know justice in order to know peace.
Right. And another topic that concerns me, lastly, is when something happens and they post a picture of the victim, the black victim, why is it always a mugshot?
Right.
It's always a mugshot. But when it's someone that's not black, it's a family picture, or
right.
Nice,
school graduation, something
nice wholesome picture to give you, so you can start sympathizing with them and whatnot. But when it's a black person, it's always a mug shot or the worst possible
Facebook picture that you can find. And I'm like, I know
that makes them look like a thug.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, again, just justice. Just treat us with equality. Treat us with the same respect you're treating everybody else. Because I know black people like to take pictures. I'm sorry.
Right.
We do. We got selfies galore. So I'm pretty sure in that Facebook,
there was a decent picture. But not only that, also, but then they also want to dig into their background and pull up how they stole a candy bar back in the 6th grade. Like,
like what does that have to do with it? Where is the validity? Nah, there's no meaning. It meaning that you're trying too hard. You're trying to, America. Yeah. Let's
demonize them. You want America to not feel sorry for him. Like, well, he was a bad person anyway. Or, or you know what I mean?
Look at his history, and let's not get it twisted. All saints got a past and all sinners have a future. And at the end of the day, these officers did not know what that person's background was prior to them shooting and killing them in cold blood. Right. So I don't really care, what they did, because that's not what led up to the injustice shooting and killing of them. Right. So let's do better.
We got to do better. So on that note, on behalf of the innocent black civilians and the Dallas police officers and all their families and friends, we'd like to take a moment of silence. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to the Nina Brown Get Down's weekly discussion. And be sure to subscribe to j.l. Brown's YouTube channel, Speak On It, where they focus on the good, the bad, and the awkward family discussions. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure. Peace, love, and happiness.
Right, and thank you guys for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Nina Brown Get Down Show. Peace.
The controlled press, the white press, inflames the white public against Negroes. The police are able to use it to paint the Negro community as a criminal element. The police are able to use the press to make the white public think that 90% or 99% of the Negroes in the Negro community are criminals. And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community, exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is